Hey, what's up guys, Rip here. So today we're going to be once again talking about Marvel Rivals, which is off to an amazing first month since its release. Now we're talking about Marvel Rivals for really two reasons. The developers have made some more based choices coming out with some very appealing designs that we're going to look at. And also we're going to see some more seething from Twitter users, Redditors, and Concord players over some of these recent developments. So as you can see, on a random Wednesday afternoon, Marvel Rivals is sitting at 331,000 in-game players, and overall since its release, the numbers are staggering, okay? When's the last time you've seen a game in its first month essentially hold its peak concurrent player count? Not many. This is really impressive, and also keep in mind on the 10th, there's going to be the big Fantastic Four launch. That's going to have an explosion of players. Trust me on that. But let's look at what's going on here. What is the formula with Marvel Rivals? Well, it's a very simple one. As the Epic Games founder and CEO Tim Sweeney says, Marvel Rivals is successful for one thing: fun. That's it. That was the explanation of why it's doing so well. 3 letters. Fun. And that's what people have been saying. That's the absolute state of the gaming industry. The formula has never been more simple, and yet so many studios turn down this free opportunity for cash to do activism and piss people off instead. And really, the bar's so low. You don't have to reinvent the wheel or anything like that. Just make a fun product. And also it helps that Marvel Rivals has another component, and that is appealing character designs. And we've been seeing that with many of the heroes. And this is the latest right here. This is a still image from the Fantastic Four drop here, and here's Sue Storm here, and looking pretty good, ladies and gentlemen. How ass is Overwatch 2? This much, okay? But yeah, why would you even want to turn her invisible at any point when she's looking like this? But anyways, okay, there is a lot to be excited about with this, and here's some more breakdown of this character, and it's looking really, really great. Everything looks clean, and overall, the design of the character, curvy, pretty, appealing overall. That is something that is actually shocking people in the year 2025 because so many major releases are afraid to do this, which is just shooting yourself in the foot because people want to see this. But things get even crazier because as a part of this drop, there's also going to be the Mistress of Hate, Malice here, the dark side of Invisible Woman, and you can see this new skin also available, and yeah, wow, it gets even better, ladies and gentlemen. People are absolutely freaking out over this. It's kind of interesting to see the reaction of largely support of these sexier designs, which is kind of odd, but hey, I will embrace it, and a lot of people clearly are going to be enjoying this, and that's all there is to it. But of course, people are going to start seething about this as well. We've seen a lot of disparaging comments. Yeah, this one saying, Gooner's Paradise. Ah, yes. That word means absolutely nothing. It's been watered down to the point of being meaningless because back in the day, that phrase had some meaning. It meant like totally porn-addicted losers, like the most degenerate people. Like they're not even functioning in life because their addiction is that bad. Like 14 monitors displaying smut at the same time in a filth-covered room that you would see on like the Goon Caves subreddit. That's what the term used to be applied to. Now it's applied to anyone who enjoys an appealing character design or, God forbid, has a functioning libido. It's just very, very exhausting to see this term being applied to every appealing design that's out there. But also we have comments like this from this individual saying, so we gonna slut the men out like this or only the women? This is a very masterful gambit here. Very interesting to see this person with a Leon profile picture saying this. On top of that, this tweet got 86,000 likes, and yet this person doesn't have a blue check mark. They're not even making ad revenue out of this. They're doing it for the love of the game, ladies and gentlemen. That is crazy. And also on top of that, this is an instantly disprovable thing where with a little research, you can see there are plenty of male characters with these sorts of designs as well. This shows that this person did no research and probably doesn't play the game at all, and they're just crying about this on Twitter for nothing other than just their humiliation fetish, I guess, at this point. But anyways, of course, you'd see the flip side of that, saying so tired of this constant sexualization of female characters. Well, if you don't like it, then don't play it. It's as simple as that. I really don't know what else to say at that point. Just don't play the game if you don't like sexualized designs. Go play Dustborn or something. But like, unironically, there's infinite games out there that would suit your needs here. So like, why are you ragging on this game and anyone playing it? It's kind of stupid. But Reddit wouldn't be any better. And of course, you expect Reddit to be seething over this sorts of stuff. So here's a post saying, for the girlies that are addicted to Marvel rivals like me. So I don't know if it's just me, but this new Gooner skin they are releasing along with the new character Sue Storm is so ugly to me. Her default is so much prettier. And no, I am not trying to say that showing the curves of women in games is always a bad thing. I think Psylocke's skin is very pretty too, even though it's Gooner material. If done tastefully, I think they're very cute. But if her ass and legs were covered, I bet you no one would be buying this skin. Very disappointed, to be honest. I mean this in the most sincere and honest way. I think someone like this should probably seek therapy because their self-image is in the toilet, okay? If a 2D character is mogging you this bad, time to take a look in the mirror and try to reevaluate what's going on here. But you can see they're constantly and hypocritically calling these designs a Gooner material, again, watering down that term. But in this case, they're wrong for multiple reasons, and it's pretty funny to see why. So number one, this is just being faithful to the comic book. The design is actually just being faithful. So all these people crying about it being overly sexualized or something that was designed in a way to lure people in, they're just being comic accurate. On top of that, there's also complaints that, like Sue Storm's design, it's not realistic. We've seen this happen before. And, well, as it turns out, it was based on a real person. So we have this Aru individual, is a streamer and also does modeling. So she said this post would go viral, saying, got off the phone with the team and they've let me know my dimensions were recycled for a certain invisible lady. So incredibly thankful to be able to say, that's my ass again. Never thought this would happen, but I think I'm making a pretty good name for myself in the gaming industry. And she would even go as far as to show the proof that it's her. And on top of that, she would say in the replies here, when I first got called in for this, I didn't even know exactly what game it was for, nor the character. We were just told it was a Marvel game, and I would have my dimensions recorded for possible use in the game. I cannot believe this is happening again. So she basically waltzed into the situation thinking she was just getting her dimensions done, and now she is immortalized in Marvel Rivals in this way. But this whole situation is funny because anyone saying this is unrealistic, well, guess what? Turns out it's based on a real person, her design and her body type, and it's another Eve situation. Same thing that happened with Stellar Blade, and it's just really funny to see this play out once again. But as I was saying earlier, Concord players, the Concord players out there, they're like basically like an undiscovered tribe at this point. Like, they're very, very elusive. How many are there out there? Who knows? But people are comparing Marvel Rivals and Concord. They've been doing it since day one, right? And a lot of it with the designs in particular, it's like, here's why one failed, here's why one is doing really well. But there's this big war on Reddit involving Concord players and Redditors generally who are upset about Marvel Rivals doing so well. And you can see this article here, former Concord players not happy with Marvel Rivals' success. Why did Concord have to die and Marvel Rivals get to live? Oh, here's the world's smallest violin playing for this Concord player. As you can see, this was actually from a Hero Hey video, so shout outs to Hero Hey for discovering these screenshots on Reddit. Let's read a couple of these, beginning here. It plays nothing like Concord. I personally don't like the movement or shooting at all, and don't get all the hype and praise it's getting. If you want similar gameplay to Concord, Destiny 2 is your best bet. But the PvP in that game is basically unplayable, unfortunately, but the PvE is still good. And another user replies saying, I feel like the majority of the hype/praise it's one of the first good online Marvel games to come out. in this entire period of the MCU box office domination, which is waning. And a lot of people who are unhappy with Overwatch trying to signal boost a competitor, the game itself feels pretty damn unpolished and unbalanced compared to Overwatch and even Concord. My God, the levels of copium have led to insane delusions that they truly believe that Concord and Overwatch are superior to Marvel rivals. They have learned nothing. But here's another screenshot saying maybe it looks ugly, and then a user replies saying, I'm going to sound like a broken record responding to you 3 times in a row now, but here we go. Saying maybe it looks ugly doesn't matter because looks alone don't make or break a game. Plenty of hit games like Minecraft aren't pretty, but succeed because of great gameplay and ideas. In Concord's case, the characters being ugly is subjective, especially since many were aliens. Focusing on looks ignores what really matters: gameplay and overall experience. Concord didn't fail because of its design. It failed because negativity overshadowed its potential. And this user right here would eat them alive. First impression really matters. Also, you can't say that just because they're aliens, then every standard design convention didn't matter anymore, since Warframe designs are really loved. Also, Minecraft looks really great for what it is. Also, you kept on saying potential. Then we both agree that this good quality never even there in the first place. Just a wishful thinking from fans. And they continue on. Concord failed not because of its design, gameplay, price, or quality as a game, but because it was a target of a culture war. From the moment it was announced, discussions about the game were dominated by negativity. Critics labeled it as dead on arrival, woke, or trash before there was even a beta or gameplay footage. This constant negativity overshadowed the game itself. Despite being fun for those who actually played it, a few people gave it a fair chance. The backlash was so intense that even liking the game invited ridicule. In the end, more people criticized Concord than actually experienced it, which made it impossible for the game to succeed. Again, immense levels of copium, blaming the culture war, blaming the anti-woke people for Concord's failure. That is a very bold thing to say. And here's the final screenshot saying, yeah, let's say it was free to play. Now tell me the difference, how much longer it would last. Game even on free beta hit like 2K and keep dropping players already at that time. Did basically present the same issues from beta, and it died a few weeks later. Doesn't make a single difference. Paint a ship with a different color if you don't fix the holes. It will sink anyway. Again, Marvel Rivals has its own factor, did understand well what made Overwatch 1 successful, create at least a interesting mechanic for, say, it's different, knows what a multiplayer needs, and that's why it succeed, not because of the price tag, which many didn't have and many fail. Seriously, people, stop thinking free-to-play is the answer for everything. It just shows how clueless you guys are. Yeah, there was no saving Concord. Again, the vibes test is really important. Concord had atrocious vibes. It gave off a woke vibe. It gave off a modern audience vibe. And people identified that instantly. And the beta failed. That's the big excuse a lot of people use for these other live service games failing. They say, oh, well, Concord had a $40 price tag. That's why people didn't buy it. Well, first of all, that's Concord's fault for making it a $40 price tag. But on top of that, when it was free to play with the beta, they only hit 2K players. So that is a terrible, lame excuse, and I'm glad people are pointing that out. And let's just visit Concord. Oh, what a beautiful number. 0. But something interesting happened down here, though. You can see the 24-hour peak is 1. That's alarming. I feel like the team lead over at Firewalk Studios, Sony punished them by basically sentencing them to an eternity stuck in the lobby waiting for the next Concord matchup. But anyways, it appears that maybe, just maybe, Sony is learning something out of this mess. They recently announced that Helldivers is getting a film adaptation, which is interesting. Hopefully they do it right. Obviously, always concerned with anything coming out of Sony, but we've seen some progress. I mean, we had the creator of Helldivers 2 come out and say that DEI is a waste of time in games, and now we have this, so maybe they're prioritizing what's actually working. Focus on your successful IPs like Helldivers instead of trying to reinvent the wheel badly with games like Concord. And it looks like they're really going in on these movies. Now there's also going to be a live-action Horizon Zero Dawn movie. Yeah, they're really pushing this franchise. I don't know about you guys. It's always felt like a very forced franchise to me. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much the video. Marvel Rivals is just lighting up the universe right now. The numbers are insane. Like I said, January 6th or January 10th, when the Fantastic Four launches, the numbers are going to be insane. I guarantee they're going to get a new all-time peak. And that is something I'm confident saying because there's that much hype surrounding that release. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.